What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project. This is the Hammerdal Strale S Thoor edition. This is our second time of doing it because this is special today. This is our 200th project here on the Virtual Mechanic channel. So today we're going to take this one. We're going to 3-star absolutely every single possible part that you can 3-star on this car and see how much it improves it by, how much it improves the sale by, because we've already done the Thoor edition. I have made a couple of slight little changes. I've lowered the ride height just to bring it down to the ground a little bit more, make it a little bit more custom, which also meant we had to just tweak that engine just a little bit in the positioning. We haven't increased any metrics. It's no more powerful than the first one we did. So this should be a lot of fun and a little bit of an experiment. Also, something very exciting. The current competition for Golly Skyline has finished. Obviously, I'm recording this a day in advance, so we don't quite know who the winner is yet, but we'll find that out on Monday. But the new competition has started, and it is a very exciting one because the top 3 unique cars will be given over to the devs to add into the game, subject to quality. Obviously, if they're not quite up to scratch, they will be dropped. But 3 will be going over, and hopefully 3 will be added into the game. We will see. They have to be 3 unique cars. So, for example, if the Ribson Starline is the winner and second place is another Ribson Starline, the second place Ribson Starline, sadly, will be glossed over to the next unique car in there, and the 3 of them will go through. And all 3 will be added to the game, subject to quality. Some may be removed, some may be changed. It's definitely going to be exciting. There is a few more rules for this one because there's an actual prize at the end of it. So do head over to the Discord channel, link in the description below. Come and join us for the competition. Take part, have some fun, and who knows, maybe your design, your build could end up in the game. And that does mean across all platforms. So you console players will be getting some new configs very soon, which I think is definitely exciting. And I'm looking forward to that. Competition is up now. So get over there, have a look, take part, build your awesome car. They are all lore cars, no DLC parts, no mod parts. You can use bonus parts, but only the ones that came with the base game. And only base game parts to be used with it. So that's a lot of fun. Now, if you like the look of this build that we're going to do today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are still trying to hit 500 subscribers. The target was by this Sunday coming, the 19th of February, which is also my birthday weekend. Yes, I am another year older this weekend. So if you want to help me celebrate my birthday, do hit that subscribe button. Join us here in the Virtual Mechanic family. And don't forget to leave a comment. Let's get into this one. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Well, here we are in the car wash with the Hammerdal Strale. Let's get it all cleaned and see what's going on under all of this dust and grime here. Hopefully it's not too bad. That's looking very, very good condition. We should be able to repair a lot of that and only really have to replace that hood by the looks of it and a window in the back there. Looking pretty good, but let's get the interior all cleaned up. Then we'll get it back on the lifter, get that supercharged engine ripped out of there and get everything stripped down. The beautiful Hammerdal Strale is up in the air. We got to check for that oil pan. So down the back we go. The oil pan is there. So let's get all of that drained out. See how well this was looked after in a previous life. Not that well, but not absolutely terrible. We'll get this put away and then we'll jump in and have a look at this one because we didn't have a look before because I forgot. I had a lot of stuff to cover in that intro. So I got it from the auction house. It is from the bad auction house. It's not in bad condition though. It's actually very, very good. We didn't get a good deal on it. I bought it for 150,446 and could sell it for 145,021, losing out on 5,425. And the engine is the AXK supercharged V8 double overhead cam engine, and it is 1,014 horsepower, which is exactly the same as the base version of the Hammerdal Strale S Thoor. Ours is just the VM4. Because we've lowered it down just a little bit. But let's get on with this. We need to get underneath. It's rear-wheel drive, so we definitely need to get these rear wheels and these rear-wheel drive axles out. So I'll crack on with that, and I'll see you in a second. There we go. That's the rear wheels and rear drive axles off. Where's that little starter hiding? Just round the back there. Out you come. And then let's rip this big old gearbox out of here just for the one rusty bolt today, so not too bad. Out you come, and then we will grab all of this exhaust as well. Out you go, and out you two go. Nice and simple. Let's try and rip that big old block of an engine out of there. Down you go. Let's go grab the engine crane. And let's see if we did manage to get everything. Hopefully we did. I don't really remember. There we go. We definitely did get everything out of there. What have we got inside this engine bay then? First thing first, is anything missing? It doesn't look like it. Wheels and drive axles are out, obviously, because we did that. All of the exhaust is out. But we've got an air filter up here, coolant reservoir, the ECU, a lovely little fuse box down here, which I'm going to take the cover off. There we go, that way round. Then we got the power steering reservoir, 2 fuel tanks with a little fuel pump just down there. And then up the front, we've got the brake servo, the battery, the wishy-washy reservoir, the ABS pump and module, plus 2 radiators and fan housing kits. You can see I've added no intercoolers or anything like that to increase the power. This is the standard build, just a slight different ride height. So we need to get all the liquids drained. It's going to take a couple of swings, I think. But we all know the drill by now. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool, click on hold on the container, and it'll drain out. I'll get all of this stripped. I'll see you in a minute when we work on the bodywork. That's all the mechanicals for the Hammerdal Strale ready to go back on. But first off, we need to sort all of this bodywork. Off we come with that front bumper, out with the headlights there. Don't need that windshield or the door. Can't remember what our parts on this, but let's keep going around. That's a rear window, I know that. Then we've got a lovely rear bumper down there. That's just the wheel. Then the door, the rear window and a mirror there. I think that might be everything. I'm not 100% on that, but let's get this interior out. Out you come there, out you come there. I do actually quite like that interior as well. Maybe we will stick with that one today. Oh, I forgot the steering wheel because I'm an idiot. Let's just get the steering wheel out of there quickly. There we go, out you come as well. Let's see if we have got everything. 1% on there, that's a good sign. We have missed the 2 front fenders. How did I... Oh, there, these pieces down here. Just tucked away, completely missed them. There we go. Double check, nothing on there, and then on 1% on there. Now, we know the frame's at 42%, and I bought the car for 150,000. What are we going to say today? I'm going to go... Oh, I don't want to go... I'm going to go 1250. 2,500. Worse than some of the mod cars, but there we go. With the Hammerdal Strale, you do have some performance bonus parts in there. A lovely pair of headlights and tail lights, plus rear bumper, front bumper, and that lovely little hood on there. These will be going back on ours, along with all of the normal stuff for the Hammerdal Strale S as well. So let's crack on. Let's get all of that back together. Head over to the paint shop and see what we've got. But before we go over to the paint shop, we're going to get everything 3-starred on this beautiful car before we get it all back together. So let's go get that sorted. I'll see you in a second. We've got everything scrapped off. It's time to get everything 3-starred for our beautiful Hammerdal Strale. So let's just get inside and we are going to turn absolutely everything for this project 3-star. All of this that you can see in here, everything, including the interior and steering wheel on there as well, is all going to be 3 stars. You can't do the bodywork, and we will have to come back and do the wheels and tyres a little bit later on. But let's get back to the beginning. We have 52,664 scrap. Will that be enough to get us through all of this? I'm just going to get on with it, start upgrading everything, and hopefully we've got enough to get it all done. I'll join you all back in a minute when I've got all of this completely finished, and I'll let you know how much it cost. That's everything apart from the wheels and tyres upgraded to 3 stars for the Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor edition. We did have 52,664 scrap. We now have 31,183 to do all of that. Again, apart from the wheels and tyres, we will add them later. Cost 21,481 scrap. Not too bad, really. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, which is why I saved up 50,000 before I did it. But let's jump in and get this beautiful body all back together. Now, you can't 3-star these parts anyway, so let's just get them all back on. All of the bits that could be alternative parts are alternative parts on this one. The rest of it is just what it is. Let's get it all back together and see what this looks like. In with the windows and mirrors, on you go there. Oh, before we do the clamshell, I'm going to throw that rear window in because I forgot it earlier. Rear clamshell on there. Then we can get the trunk window in. These lovely tail lights in. Down the back, in you go, and you go. On with the rear bumper. Then we got the door, the window, and the mirror, plus the little fenders, which I always keep forgetting. On you go. Did I get the one on the other side? I did indeed. Last piece to go on the bodywork is the license plate. We've gone for a VM plate, obviously, and just 200th, as this is the 200th project on the Car Mechanic Simulator side of things. We need to get in and get the interior done and then check that we have got everything. These are 3-stars. As I said, I was throwing the original seats back in. I did quite like them. We will be adding a little bit of colour to them a little bit later on. Hopefully looking good. And we kept it with the M3 steering wheel because, well, I can't find any that I like that look modern enough that could definitely go in this car that aren't a branded one. So there we go. That's what we've gone for. Is that everything? That's not the screen I wanted. 100%, 100%, 100% fantastic. Let's get this into the paint shop. Let's get delivery on it. See what we've gone for this one. Well, here's what we've gone for today on the 200th build. We've gone up for the pearl yellow, the factory pearl yellow. We have changed this livery. We've taken the colour out of here and changed it into white to make it look pretty cool on there. With a couple of little additions, you've got the Virtual Mechanic logo on the carbon fibre panels there. And then you've just got this black bit filled in around there with the 200 on it for the 200th build. We didn't do that in carbon fiber. Could have quite easily copied that, but I thought it would have looked a bit out of place because it's not a separate panel. So we just went with a black on there. That's all we've done with it. Nothing overly special. Just a 200 down the side, the Virtual Mechanic logos, and changed the stripes to white on this beautiful pearl yellow body. If we open up the engine bay, the underside of it's yellow. The top half is pretty black. So we're going to have some fun and playing around with some yellows in there. Also some whites. Maybe a little bit of black as well. Well, there'll always be a bit of black. We also put a bit of colour inside this interior. I kept these seats because it does match with the door cards, and we could put the yellow on it. Plus, it's got a bit of the white, which is on here. So that looks pretty good. And then the steering wheel, we just added a bit of yellow to that as well. The plan is to get everything else painted. Some yellows, some blacks, some whites, maybe even a splash of red if we fancy it. Let's get everything looking good and looking cool. We've all got it already 3-starred. So let's get it back on the lifter, get everything painted, and start getting it all back together. That's everything painted, ready to go back on our beautiful Hammerdal Strale. Let's start with these shocks. We've got the yellow shocks, white springs, and black caps. Looking pretty good on the pearl yellow there. Solid white and a gloss black. The fronts are the same, just look slightly different. Looking beautiful on there. Very pleased with them. Off you come. Let's start getting this all into the car then. So the front suspension crossmember is in a white. We've got a steering rack in a yellow and the sway bar in a yellow, with the front steering knuckle also in a white there, inner tie rod in a white, and then the outer tie rod just in a tasty little black, just finishing that one off. Both the bottom and upper suspension arms are in a gloss black, looking absolutely beautiful on there. In you go, all bolted up, ready to go. Then let's get that shock in its yellow, white, and black. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Loving the color combination. Sway bar end links in a black, yellow or white doesn't work on it. Knuckle in you go. I've just remembered the bushings, so we'll just quickly throw them in you go, and in you go there. Then we've got the wheel hub in a black there. That is in the quality of life black. The bearing in, and then we've got the brake disc. The hub in there is in a lovely little white. Brake pad on you go, and the brake calipers today are a black. Why not? Looking pretty good in there. Black, white, and yellow. Looking absolutely fantastic. Very pleased with them. Let's get the fuel tanks in on the way through. We've just done them in white with the fuel pump in a little yellow on top there. And let's not jump to the exhaust. There we go. The rear knuckle is what I want. We've got a white knuckle on here, and then the suspension arms are both black, same as the front there. On you go. And let's get the upper one in as well. In we go. Then let's get the shock on. And then let's start getting this all finished off and ready to go. We've got the knuckle hover in a yellow. And then we've got the wheel hub in the black there. Brake disc. In you go. We've got the bearing in there. We can't do the drive axle until a little bit later on. Our brake pads. And then the brake caliper in that lovely black there. Everything that's got on this is 3-starred. It's going to be pretty epic. We need to crack on and get the other side all finished. We'll jump around. Then we'll move on to sorting out the front and rear engine bays before we go and build that supercharged V8. It's looking beautiful. Well, there's the suspension all finished. Looking fantastic in a black, a white, and a bit of pearl yellow on there, just for good measure. We need to crack on, though, and get the engine bays done. We've obviously got both fuse boxes in. I missed this fuse box at the beginning. We've got the one in the main engine bay in white and the one at the front here in a little yellow. But let's crack on and get the rest of this all together. In with the brake servo at the front, along with the battery. We've got the wishy-washy reservoir just down here. And then the ABS pump, which is in a black, and the module, which is also in a little black, just on the top there. In you go. Then we got our radiators. They're both blacked out, looking pretty good, with the fan housing kits black and the fans themselves in the chrome yellow. Looking very good on there. Very pleased with them. Not that you will ever be able to see any of this, because if we step away, which we're going to do right now, under the hood there, you can see the battery looking pretty good. You can see the cap for the wishy-washy reservoir, and you can see that fuse box under the hood. That's about it. If we go down to the back, We've got some more stuff to go in here. So let's crack on. Coolant reservoir up here. Then we've got our fully 3-star tuned ECU stage 3. That should be pretty epic on there. Power steering reservoir in you go. And that's about it, apart from the air filter base, which we've done in a lovely white on there. Let's get you in. On you go. On with the cover. And then just to finish it off, we've got some little black clips. Just finishing this engine bay off. I think it looks pretty good so far, but we do still have that insane V8 to build and pop in there. But that's all of the engine bays done. All of the engine bays, both of the engine bays done. Looking very yellow and white at the moment. Hopefully when we throw that engine in, it will change a little bit. So let's go and build it. There we go. You can see the block there in a gloss black with the oil pan in that pearl yellow. Looking very good. All of the gubbins are already in, so let's just crack on. We'll start with the oil filter, which is in that lovely yellow on there, along with the fuel filter, also in that matching yellow. Engine heads in you go. These are both blacked out entirely, looking pretty good on there. Let's just get these both in, and then we'll move on and get some innards done before we move on to the front of this engine. Plenty of colour on here. It doesn't look like it at the moment, but there will be, trust me. Now let's jump up into the air because we've got all 4 camshafts, all 8 spark plugs, and all 4 cam gears to go on. So I'll crack on with that, and I'll see you in a second. There we go. All the innards done for the engine heads. Let's move on to the front with the timing belts. On you go, and on you go. Then the timing cover, which is in a solid white on there. Looking very good. All bolted up you go. The water pump is in a little yellow on there. And then we've got the alternator down here, just blacked out, along with the power steering pump also blacked out on there, and along with the rest of all of this stuff. So let's get all of this in as well. We've got all of the idle rollers. We've got the water pump pulley. They're all blacked out. I'm just going to get them in. That's everything on the front for the moment. We can't do the belt yet because we've got to wait till that supercharger is on there. So let's crack on, moving on up. Engine head covers. These look very dark, but they're like that for a reason. They're not as dark as they look, trust me. Look at that, looking pretty good on there. Let's get you all bolted up. In you go, in you go. All bolted up, ready to go. Then we've got the ignition coils in here. On you go, in you go. And there you go. Then the coil covers in a lovely white on top of there. Just finishing that off with the exhaust manifolds. Also in a standard white or a stock white or whatever you want to call that one. Looking beautiful on there. Let's get the other side done. On you go. Same yellow, but again, much darker. But it doesn't come out that much darker. It just works really well. Very pleased with how I managed to do this one. So let's just get it all in, and then we'll move on and get the central stuff done. Get that big old supercharger in there and get this engine finished, ready to drop in our beautiful Hammerdal Strale. On we go, all bolted up. Get the coil covers in, and I think that's it for the moment. So let's get this intake bit done. Intake manifold in the stock white there, with the supercharger in the pearl yellow. This is the normal pearl yellow. This is what I tried to match these two. You can see they're not far off. This has still got a little bit of darkness to it, but it still looks pretty good. Fuel rails are in that solid white. On you go, and on you go. And then the throttle is just in a tasty little black up there, just for a splash of it. Let's move down the front. Let's get the rest of this done. The serpentine belt in, and the serpentine belt in, with the belt tensioner in a lovely little pearl yellow just on the front to finish it off. And the last idle roller just to go on there. Looking absolutely beautiful. Very pleased with this engine in the black, white and yellow. I think it looks very good, but it is now time to see how good it looks inside the car. So I'm going to grab some pictures, and I'll be back in a second. All finished, looking absolutely beautiful. Let's get this engine dropped into our beautiful Hammerdal Strale. Get this car finished off and ready to go down the drag strip and let the real testing begin. In you go. How does this engine look in there? Absolutely fantastic if you ask me. The yellows are a little off, but let's put some lighting on it. The normal torch, I'm using a beta version of the Quality of Life, and I've got this lower powered torch, which is absolutely fantastic for using in and around the garage, just for showing things off. See how dark it is down there? Let's just throw a bit of light in it. Looking beautiful. Absolutely love that. Great addition, in my opinion. You got the normal really bright one, which you can't see anything with in the garage, but is great for photos. Absolutely fantastic. And then this slightly less one, which is perfect for in and around the garage. Nothing's too bright or too in your face on there. Looking very good. Very pleased with that. Let's get this torch off. Let's get it up in the air. We got the gearbox to go in, some exhaust to go in, and then the last 2 drive shafts. Let's get underneath. In we go. We'll start with the gearbox. This is in a very bright white. On you go. looking beautiful. I wanted to keep some of the white in the back here, looking fantastic. Starters in a black, just to contrast that one a little bit. And then these two rear drive axles, these are both in a black as well. On you go, round to the other side. Let's get you in as well. Then we've got all the exhaust. It is all in a white. You kind of all saw that coming, but let's get it in and then check out how good all of this looks. That should be everything for the insides. Obviously, I've got some liquids to top up, and then we'll have some wheels to do as well. But let's just bring it back down for a minute. Got them white exhaust just sticking through there. Let's get the low-level torch on. Looking pretty cool. Very pleased with that. And that engine in there is looking fantastic. So pleased with it. Looking absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get the rest of this all finished off. Liquids topped up. Some beautiful wheels done. They will be 3-star, don't worry. And we'll add the cost to them. To the total cost of 3-starring a complete car, top to bottom, everything on it. The Hammerdal Strale S Thoor Edition is what we've gone for. Let's see how much it costs and how much the improvements actually work by. Well, here we are then, all finished with the beautiful Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor Edition. VM is only that we've slammed it down a little bit. We've made everything possible on this one. 3-star parts, so everything is slightly better than it was before. All the performance parts now give more power, and this should be an epic beast on the drag strip. Let's just quickly talk about these rims. These are the rims 3. We've done them in a cheeky little white. I'm just going to go onto the new low-level torch so you can have a look inside there. Looking pretty good. The front rims here are a 20-inch rim with a 245 width and a 25 profile on there, looking pretty good. If we just nip down the back, very similar. These are a 21-inch rim down the back with a 325 width and a 25 profile on there, looking absolutely spectacular if you ask me. Let's just turn the torch off and you can see how much darker it is in there without it on. Lovely addition to the quality of life mod if you ask me. But let's jump inside this little beast and check out what this one sounds like. Absolutely beautiful in here. I love this interior. Just a little bit of yellow added, nothing too special. But let's get it started up and see what this supercharged V8 sounds like. There we go. Perfect little grumble there on the tick over. Give it some gas. You got that whine at the top end from that V8. Sounding absolutely incredible. But let's get this 3-starred beast onto the dyno. See what the horsepower is today and what this one's drag rating will be. Here we are then on the dyno with the Hammerdal Strale S Thoor Edition, customized version. 1014 factory horsepower, the same as the original one that we did last time. How much have we increased it by today? How does it compare against the previous version? Let's take a look. Well, 3-star performance parts, or 3-star everything, definitely increases that. 1,538 horsepower gained. The previous one was 1,183 horsepower gained. 152% we got this time, and last time it was 117% increase. So already we're increased by over 350 horsepower than we were last time. Total measured out now is 2,551 horsepower. Last time it was 2,197 horsepower, a gain of 354 in total horsepower. Drag rating is exactly the same because this was already at the top end, but quite a big difference from the original one. Obviously, the only thing different from this one to the original one is that we have 3-starred absolutely everything, and this one's just a little bit lower, which doesn't affect speed or times or anything like that. So there we go. Pretty awesome on there. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for today. I will tell you, it's almost exactly the same as the last one. It might even be exactly the same as the last one. This was the best speeds I could get out of it. Absolutely epic. We do have the ECU fully tuned and ready to go. No carburetors, just a beautiful gearbox tune. So let's get our beautiful, beautiful 3-star car onto the drag strip and see if we can finally get back to winning ways by taking the title in a tournament. Here we are then, back at the drag strip with our Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor Edition, fully 3-starred, King of the Sands, 1 mile, A-class, and pay the entry fee. Who have we got today then? Our first race is against the Nissan Skyline GTR Drag Edition. Pretty epic one in there. Who have we got in with us today? French Toast is in the Dodge Charger 777. Love that. Pretty cool. My brother is in the version 4 Unicorn, and Suzumis is also in the version 4 Unicorn. Pretty good. Let's get into our first race and see if we can beat the Nissan Skyline GTR Drag Edition. The Nissan Skyline Drag Edition looking stunning in a pearl white, I believe that is there, looking very good. Against our pearl yellow with white rims, Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor Edition. Fully 3-starred out. Let's see if we can beat this one. Let's get in. Let's go. If we go into second, let it catch into third, into fourth. Where is that dragster? Not anywhere near us. Into fifth gear, a little bit of a bumping and grinding there, and then into top gear. What are we going to cross the line at, and what times are we going to get today from our beautiful little 3-star Hammerdal Strale? Across the line, that looked like 463 kilometers an hour. It was indeed, and an 8.157 for our first run. Definitely a very good first run there. Very impressed with that. The original 4 edition of the Hammerdal Strale, non 3-starred, managed the top time of 8.233, so we're definitely a lot quicker to start with. To the 1 mile, we got 18.577 seconds, and the original one got 18.974. with a top speed for us today at 463, and the original one's top speed of 454. So we're definitely in a lot better place than we were with the original one. Let's get into the next race and see if we can carry on and win this tournament. Unfortunately, Suzumis has been knocked out, but French Toast is still in the Charger 777, although he is up against the electric 250 GT Ferrari. That one can be pretty epic. Our next race is against the version 3 Unicorn. Be pretty interesting to see how well we can do there. And we do have another drag Skyline and a Ford Mustang drag still in it. So let's get on with it. Can we make it through to the next round? The only time we will face French Toast is if we both make it into the final. Hopefully we can both get there and we can sneakily win. Sorry, French Toast, I don't mean that. Let's get into it. Can we beat the version 3? There we are then, the version 3 Unicorn looking beautiful as always against our Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor Edition. Fully 3-starred. Hopefully we can smash this one. Let's get in. Let's go. Off the line, into second, maybe a bit early there, into third, into fourth. Where are you, Mustang? It doesn't look like it's anywhere near us. Into fifth gear. Come on, let's get into top gear. Can we get a good run out of this one? Oh, we're going to cross the line there. Let's keep going. Hopefully we can get a better time than our first run. Let's get across the line. And what was this run? 8.112. So definitely slightly better than our first run. And an 18.425 to the 1 mile. That's actually incredible. We've knocked a few seconds off, or a few hundredths of a second off there, with the top speed still the same at 463 kilometers an hour. Let's get into the next one, and hopefully we can beat it and move on to the final. Oh, it's getting close now. French Toast is still in the Dodge Charger 777 against the version 4 Unicorn. We're against the Ford Mustang drag. We know that one could be pretty good, so let's get in. Hopefully we can beat it, get into the final, and hopefully meet French Toast there. The Burgundy Ford Mustang drag looking pretty good on the start line, but not as good as our beautiful Hammerdal Strale. Pretty epic little lineup we've got going on there. Classic pony car slash muscle car. Well, not quite classic, but retro pony car there versus the hypercar of the future. Let's see who can win this one. Let's go. Cross the line, over the line, off the start line, whatever you want to call it, into second, into third. And then into fourth gear. Can't see that Ford Mustang drag anywhere. Bad gear change. Bit of a shame, that one. Let's get into top gear. Let's get across the line and see what these times are for this run here today. And have we made it into the final for a change? We definitely have. Let's see the times. An 8.315. That was my own fault for a bad gear change. And an 18.932 with a slightly less top speed of only 462 kilometers an hour. Wasn't our best run, but we have made it to the final. Can we win the final race and finally win a tournament? Unfortunately, French Toast didn't quite make it. You were so close there, my friend. What a shame. But we are in the final against the version 4 Unicorn. It is definitely a car we beat many a times. Can we keep up with that today, though? Let's get in and see if we can win this tournament for once in what seems like a very long time. The version 4 Unicorn still looks beautiful. I love the black and orange or bronzeness of it. Absolutely beautiful. Against our Hammerdal Strale Thoor, Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor Edition. Too long-winded. Should have worked on that title a little bit. Fully 3-starred though. Hopefully we can get in and get our 200th build across the line for a tournament win. Let's go. Off the line, into second, into third, into fourth. Where is it? Nowhere near us at the moment. Into fifth gear. Let's see if we can make this last run our very best run in our Hammerdal Strale, our 200th build on this channel. Let's get across the line and see what times we can get for our final run. What times were that? An 8.168. Not quite our best run. Our best run was 8.112 to the quarter of a mile. And 18.463. Definitely quick, but not as quick as our best run with an 18.425. Matching top speed almost all the way throughout at 463 kilometers an hour. That is the same. Let's get this one back to the garage after we've collected our winnings and see where this one ranks on the speeder board. There it is. We finally got lots of prize money from a tournament again. We finally won another one, which has made me more happy than you could possibly imagine. 11,250 winnings minus our entry fee pits us at a profit of 10,250, which isn't bad considering at the beginning of the episode we were down 6,829. Let's get back to the garage and get our 3-star 200th build Hammerdal Strale onto the speeder board. Well then, here she is, all finished off our complete 3-star build with the Hammerdal Strale S VM Thoor, our 200th build on the channel, and we managed to get it on the speeder board in 8th position there with 2,551 horsepower and 8.112 seconds to the quarter of a mile and 18.425 to the 1 mile. Still pretty good time actually in there. 463 kilometers an hour or 288 miles per hour. Very impressed with it, and I do have to just cover one last thing before we move on. That was I 3-starred the wheels and tires. That did cost me an extra 2,062 scrap. So our total scrap spend for the day to completely 3-star every part of the Hammerdal Strale S is 23,543 scrap. That's quite a bit of scrap, but it did make an awesome car. Slight bit better than the original one. The original one currently sits 12th in the speeder board. This one sits in 8th. And sadly, we did have to say goodbye to the Eagle R Speedster. Bit of a shame, that one. But let's go and check out our Hammerdal Strale one more time. Well, there she is, looking absolutely stunning in 8th on the speeder board. I am very much impressed by that. But let's talk some facts and figures about this wonderful, beautiful car we've got in front of us today. I bought it for 150,446, and I could sell it at a loss of 6,829. Obviously, we didn't do that. We spent a further 91,601 modifying, upgrading, and tuning this beautiful little car you see here today. Absolutely fantastic in there. Couldn't quite figure that one out, but never mind. All went horribly wrong. Total spend of 242,047 credits in total. Not too bad. The real question is, can we make a profit from this beautiful car? There is only one way to find out. Let's jump in. Let's take a beautiful look at this one. The carbon fiber and the yellow looks absolutely fantastic. Can we make a profit? Well, here we are then. It is all done, all 100% finished, and it looks beautiful. Very, very pleased with it. 113,956 kilometers on there. The engine ramped up to 2,551 horsepower. A gain of 152%. Definitely worth 3-star in the performance parts at least. I'm still undecided about the rest of the build. Can we make a profit, though? Bearing in mind the normal one that we did, or not the normal one, still the Thoor edition, we sold that for 484,576. Will this be higher? Will it be lower? Let's have a look. Let's find out. It's lower. 465,913 is the sale price for this one. It's still a very good sale price and still leaves us with a profit of 223,866 from our 200th build. But it isn't quite as good as the sale price of the normal one without any 3-star parts. I wonder if I did something different, put a slightly different slick tire on it that's worth less or something like that. I wonder if there's something in there. Do let me know if you happen to know the answer in the comments below. But it is time to not say goodbye to this one. This one we're definitely keeping our 200th build. Fully 3-starred. We will be swapping it with one of these up here. It will probably be, sadly, the King Slowpoke Lamborghini. I can't get rid of that. This one's recent. And that one's still sat at the top of the speeder board. So if anybody can build something, preferably a new mod, that can knock that one off the speeder board, I'll be very, very, very impressed and grateful. We also have our virtual mechanic sign on the main post there. Finally, for a change. But that's it for this car. Let's see what we got up next. Now, we did... Jumpy game. And now, we did the 300 SL not very long ago. That was the DLC version. This is very jumpy around here. This is the mod version, looking absolutely fantastic. Loving all the gold trim on this one. This is going to be my closer to my dream car build of this one. Let's take a look. It is called the Hero Car. It is certainly my hero car. We got this one from the Good Auction House. It's in relatively good condition for what it is, with 224,000 kilometers on there. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam AXK without the supercharger on top, so it shouldn't be as good as the engine we just built over there. Plus, we're not going to 3-star this. I don't think I've got the scrap left. Did I get a good deal? I did not. I bought it for 83,719 and could sell it for 65,390, losing out on 18,329, and that is never good. But there we go. That's it for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please consider clicking that beautiful subscribe button and giving us a like, leaving a comment. Let me know what you think of that beautiful Hammerdal Strale over there that we did. Looking absolutely fantastic. Everything seems to be jumpy. The game does not like me at the moment. Very, very jumpy. But thank you for watching. If you can hit that subscribe button, please do. We're still trying to hit 500 subscribers. The deadline was by this Sunday, but I don't see that happening. But we're still going to try and get there nonetheless. Have a fantastic day, whatever you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.